can't take my coffee break, my coffee break, my coffee break. If I can't take my coffee break, something within me dies, lies down, and something within me dies. If I can't make my Sunday trips to Shining Shrine benignly drips and taste caffeine between my lips, something within me dies, lies down, and something within me dies.
Friends, we have the coffee conundrum, a Java jam, a caffeine catastrophe. Right now, we don't have any volunteers signed up to help with coffee and conversation on upcoming Sunday mornings. And let's be honest, Sunnyhill just isn't the same without that warm cup of coffee and the friendly faces that come with it. But here's the good news. If each of us signs up just once, we'll be brewing joy for months to come. So check your calendars, grab a friend or family member, and sign up today. The sign-up board is waiting for you in the dining room. Let's keep the coffee flowing and the conversation buzzing, because Sundays at Sunnyhill just wouldn't be the same without them.
And if we can't take our coffee break, our coffee breaks, our coffee breaks, if we can't take our coffee breaks, somehow the soul no longer tries. It's all gone and something within us dies. Sign up. Do it today. Sign up.
Good morning. Welcome to the UU Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. We're so delighted that you could join us today for this service. Our mission here at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Krista Stanley, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you're a newcomer or a visitor to our congregation, please go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says New to Sunnyhill to receive more information about our congregation and to receive our weekly email newsletter. If you're joining us online today, please say hello or good morning in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. We'd like to hear from you and extend a welcome to you as well. We welcome children of all ages to our services. For quiet play, we have a children's area here in the sanctuary. For louder activities, we have the nursery just outside the corner entrance to the sanctuary. We also have a comfort room accessible through the back hallway, which you can typically hear and see the service. We are having some technical issues with the audio today, but we're hoping to have that fixed by next week. Also, a gentle reminder to everyone, please silence your cell phones or other electronic devices so that we can enjoy the service uninterrupted by any buzzing or ringing. Today's sermon is titled Vision and Voyage. As we prepare for our upcoming capital project, what is the vision that we have for our church and for our community? How do we hold on to this vision while in the midst of the often rocky voyages of our lives and of the world? This service will be followed by a congregational meeting with our architects from Rothschild Doino Collaborative. Our opening words were written by Ian Riddle. Come one, come all, come with your missing pieces and your extra screws. Come with your hard edges and your soft spots. Come with your bowed heads and upright spines. Come all you flamboyant and drab, verbose and quiet, fidgeting and lethargic, all you with large vision and tender hearts, all you with small courage and tender fears. Bring your lisp and your stutter, and your song. Bring your gravel and your drawl and your lilt. Bring your anger and your joy and your righteous indignation, misfits and conformists and everyone in between. Come into this space and be welcome. Bring who you are, bring where you've traveled, bring what you long for, and let us worship together. Please join me in saying the words for lighting our chalice. We light this flame to remember that every vision wants to grow. We are continually drawn forward by its pull. May today help lure us toward its larger call.
Please rise and by your spirit join us in our hymn. We are building a new way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. One more time, we're building. We are building a new way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Yeah, please be seated. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. If there are any kiddos present that want to come up for our time for all ages, now is your chance. Good morning, friends. A few friends and I have a running joke about cardboard boxes. We laugh about how we're always thinking about what they could be used for instead of just getting rid of them. You see, I don't think we're hoarders, we're optimists. We see the potential of a cardboard box and all the things it might become. The issue is boxes start to pile up, and then we have boxes of boxes. But cardboard boxes are so useful. We use them to send care packages to loved ones far away, to keep things safe while we're moving or storing them. Presents often come in boxes. When grown-ups get engaged, the ring often comes in a tiny box. And when we buy big things, like new furniture, sometimes it comes in a big box, one that could be a playhouse or a spaceship or a cabin or anything our imagination dreams up. This box right here that you see next to me is called a banker's box. Banker's boxes like this have been used in offices and banks for over 100 years to store important documents. But this one came to Sunnyhill from my friend Cindy Menser. She donated some RE supplies like ribbon and some kitchen items. Thank you, Cindy. Wow, when you think about it, cardboard boxes really are everywhere, and they show up in some really important moments of our lives. But is it the box itself that's most important? No. You see, the box is just a container. What we put inside it is what truly matters. Maybe it's the fresh-baked cookies that remind a college student of home, or photos of grandparents, or the fun memories of a snow day when you have turned a big box into a fort. Our church is getting ready to start a new adventure. We've raised money to create new spaces where we can learn, grow, and gather together. But just like a cardboard box, the building itself is only the container. It's what we put inside it that makes it most meaningful. Later today, we'll be meeting with architects who help us to imagine what goes in our Sunnyhill box. The last time we did this, we ended up with this beautiful sanctuary, a space full of light and nature, big enough for events and celebrations. Now, we get to dream again. What will we put in our next box? Maybe cheerful and accessible classrooms for all of you to learn together. Maybe a welcoming kitchen to prepare meals we can share. Or a vibrant fellowship space to build, create, and connect. Together, we get the chance to all consider what we value in this church box and bring it to reality. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, I think so. So for now, we're gonna head to our RE classes, but after that, we're gonna come back together and rejoin our families and be a part of this big dreaming moment, sharing what we put into our Sunnyhill box. And with that, we'll sing the kiddos to their class.
As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go
This is the time in our service when we share joys and sorrows that have been submitted by members of the congregation. After each joy or sorrow that I share, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." A joy from Nanette Miller. Nanette says, on March 11th, I went to St. Clair ER with wheezing and cold symptoms. In less than 24 hours, a ventilator was breathing for me as my heart and lungs struggled. I wasn't scared because I was out cold, but my family and friends were terrified. Fortunately, my body fought back and they took me off the breathing machine on March 13th. A couple of days in ICU, a few more on a medical unit, and they sent me home this week. A joy for sure. And I did receive the very best care. The other joy is the incredible support I received from the Sunnyhill community, both from members and staff. They took away the stress of dealing with a sudden incapacitating illness by simply figuring out what had to be done. Bless you all. To Nanette, we hold you in our hearts. A sorrow from Melissa and Donovan Porter. Melissa says, 1 year ago today, my mother died suddenly at the age of 66. We miss her every day. To Melissa and Donovan, we hold you in our hearts. A joy from Sean McGinnis. Sean says, after nearly 10 years of dating, Meredith and I got engaged while in Costa Rica this month. We are excited to begin this next phase of our lives together. To Sean and Meredith, we hold you in our hearts. As we sing our musical meditation, we invite anyone who feels moved to do so to come forward, light a candle, place it in the sand, and then return to your seat.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe
Please join me in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Our lives begin and end in breath. From the first gasp of air we breathe in to the last gasping breath out, each of our lives is defined by breathing. Each movement, each thought is fueled by our breath. The blood that flows through our veins, the neurons that fire in our brains depend largely on just this: breathing in and breathing out. Let us pause for a moment of quiet to focus on our breathing, to appreciate it, and to be aware as we breathe in and breathe out. May our breathing fuel not just our actions, but also our visions and our dreams. May our breathing connect us to all others who breathe, who live, who hope and yearn. And may each breath bring us closer to the peace and love we long to bring into being, now and always. Amen. Today I'm talking about vision, not sightedness, not literal physical vision, but rather the idea that if you expect to get somewhere, it's good to have some idea what that somewhere might be like. It helps to know at least where it is you think you want to go. And the truth is that whether we are aware of it or not, most of us do already carry around with us some kind of vision of where we are going. We may not be aware of it, but this vision, whether implicit or explicit, does have an impact on how we live our lives and what we are able to accomplish. A colleague of mine who speaks to groups about the concept of vision asks these groups to do a visualization exercise. I would like us to try this exercise together here this morning. It only takes about a minute or so. So please get in a comfortable position in your chair. Center yourself, and as you will, close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out, in and out. As you continue to breathe, picture the ocean in your mind's eye. Imagine the expanse stretching in every direction to the faraway horizon, an open vastness of water on every side around you. See its color, the size and the movement of the waves. And now imagine that in this vast sea, you are seated in a boat. See the boat itself as it floats in that wide, open sea. See the boat's color and shape and size, and see yourself clearly and fully as you sit in that boat. Now let us start to leave our imagining and come back to our chairs together in this sanctuary. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Some of you may have imagined a calm sea, while others imagined a choppy or stormy sea. Some of you may have imagined a big boat, maybe even something like a ship, while others imagined a tiny boat, something like a rowboat. Some of you may have imagined yourself seated among many other people on the boat, while others imagined yourselves completely alone. It may be telling how many of us, when asked to imagine such things, picture ourselves utterly alone in the midst of a vast sea, rather than choosing to see ourselves in a large boat along with many other people, imagining ourselves alone and adrift in an empty sea. Do we also imagine our life and our life's journey in this way? If this vision of being alone and adrift is our default setting, our baseline for how we picture our lives, then perhaps it's time to be intentional in choosing a different vision. I've shared before that when I was in my 20s and 30s, I went through times when it was impossible for me to imagine my life as any kind of journey at all. To me, life just seemed to be about finding the path of least resistance. If I'd pictured myself on a boat, it would have been a boat that was very much adrift, with me as the only passenger, with the primary goal of not bumping into anything else. It wasn't until I was able to make a big conceptual shift or leap towards seeing my life as an actual journey with a definite course, a definite direction, that I was able to accomplish much of anything and start seeing myself as an active participant in my own life. It was a change in vision that made possible a move toward action and intentionality rather than remaining mired in passivity and mere chance. I'm not saying that a vision is all that it takes. You also have to have a plan of action. You have to actually lean in and live into your vision. But if you don't have a vision to start with, all the action plans in the world are not likely to get you much of anywhere. And it's also true that having a vision will not necessarily keep you going on a straight course all of the time. All of us, no matter how clear our personal vision may be, we'll go through periods of going around and around in circles, and that's okay. But if we want those circles to become larger, to start moving out toward something more, something new, something to which we aspire, then we must hold on to some kind of vision. Some might argue that this whole idea of vision is just so much hokum. It's just wishful thinking or even delusional. But there is evidence that a little bit of self-deception might actually be a very good thing. In his book, The Happiness Hypothesis, Jonathan Haidt wrote about a number of studies that show that people who hold pervasive positive illusions about themselves, their abilities, and their future prospects are mentally healthier, happier, and better liked than people who lack such illusions. Furthermore, an article from the journal Basic and Applied Social Psychology states, self-deception has been associated with stress reduction, a positive self-bias, and increased pain tolerance, all of which could enhance motivation and performance during competitive tasks. But I do want to be clear that a little bit of self-delusion goes a very long way. While a positive vision of our own life journey is a good thing, visions of grandiosity are not. Thinking of yourself as incapable of making mistakes or never being wrong can be an extremely dangerous game, both for yourself and for those around you. Unchecked self-delusion leads to a toxic narcissism that can, as we have been witnessing, bring an entire nation to a crisis point. So while we must have a vision for ourselves and our communities, we also have to keep it real. There's a balance that needs to be struck. And I think it's healthy and necessary to appreciate where our vision has led us to this point, to look not just ahead to where our vision is leading us, but to look back on how far we have come. It's been about 7.5 years since this congregation completed its most recent building project, and we held our first service in this beautiful sanctuary. At the beginning of the project, an observer might justifiably have said that this congregation was, in fact, delusional to take on a project of this scale. Sunnyhill had struggled mightily in previous years to agree about anything, much less come up with the money, the wherewithal, and the vision to complete a multi-million-dollar building project. And the observer with these thoughts that this congregation was at least somewhat deluded might have been correct based on the evidence at hand. But as I said, a little bit of self-delusion can be a good thing. This congregation had a vision, delusional or not. As I articulated at the beginning of the last capital project, this vision was in 3 parts as follows. The first part of the vision was to open our doors wider to the community and to be able to welcome all. Sunnyhill was a warm and cozy place ever since the congregation opened its doors here all those years ago. But coziness is not always particularly welcoming. So the first part of the vision was a bright new space that is more accessible and welcoming to all. This part of the vision was partially accomplished in that at least the new part of this building and the space that we're in right now is in fact much more accessible and welcoming. The second part was to make our physical surroundings better match the energy that we bring to our work together. This congregation has been for some time a growing, vital enterprise. We do important, life-changing, life-affirming work here, and it seems fitting to do this work in a setting that better matches this growing energy and vitality. Our vision was a physical facility that reflects and enhances that special buzz you can sense here every Sunday morning when we gather together. Again, mission accomplished, at least in part. The third part of the vision was to ensure the presence of this church in our community and in the lives of those who will follow us. In other words, this congregation saw itself as building a home, not just for its current members, but for all of those who will come after us, people who will need this place in ways that we cannot even imagine right now. This part of the vision is the primary focus of our current Be the Future capital campaign and the project that our architects will help us begin to envision today. This three-part vision was a strong one. It was rooted in the congregation's foundational values of justice and compassion that are articulated in our mission statement. It was a vision that was both inspirational and aspirational. But there was no real concrete reason to think that this vision might actually be fulfilled. There was, at least at the beginning, no real idea of where the money would come from. There was no real idea about where we'd go while the building was shut down or how we'd stay connected without this place being here for us. There was no evidence that the congregation would be able to make some of the difficult financial decisions that had to be made. At the beginning of the current capital campaign, many of the same things might have been said and were said in terms of the many uncertainties that are involved and the many uncertainties that still exist. And yet, here we are. And it is critically important to recognize that from time to time, just how far we have come on this journey. Author Rose Nguyen wrote, "It's a beautiful thing to be mindful of the present, but don't forget to honor yourself, your past, and how far you've come. Odds are it's further than you think." She said, "I realize that I sometimes get so caught up with my big dreams for the future that I forget to recognize all the dreams I've made come true. We can get so caught up looking at where we should be, where we aren't, and where others are in comparison that we forget to appreciate where we've been and where we've come from. So please, let's appreciate how far we have come. Of course, we can't just rest on our laurels. If we do so, our laurels might start to grow a little bit flabby. We can't just say, mission accomplished, now let's go back to the way things were. In fact, to do so would be to abandon the vision before it's fully realized. Our Be the Future capital campaign and capital project that we will be discussing with our architects following this service will help us realize the parts of the vision that may not have been fully realized 7.5 years ago. And this process may also help us keep in mind a larger, more enduring vision than we are sometimes able to imagine. One of my favorite stories takes place during the Middle Ages in Europe when a traveler came upon a place where there was a great deal of building work going on. He started talking with the stone cutters that were busy cutting stone. He approached the first worker and he asked, "What are you doing?" This man, very disgruntled and obviously deeply unhappy in his work, replied, "I'm cutting these huge boulders with the simplest, crudest of tools and putting them together in the way that I've been told to do. I'm sweating in this heat and my back is hurting. What's more, I'm completely bored and I wish I didn't have to do this hard and meaningless task all day long." The traveler moved on quickly to interview a second worker. He asked the same question, "What are you doing?" This worker replied, "Well, I have a wife and children at home, so I come here every morning. I work on these boulders. I try to shape them into regular shapes as I'm told to do. It gets repetitive sometimes, but it helps me to feed my family, and that's really all I care about." Somewhat encouraged, the traveler went on to a third worker, asking the same question, "What are you doing?" The third worker responded with shining eyes and pointed up to the sky and said, "I am building a cathedral." It was this worker's vision that provided the fuel for the fire within him. For this man, the work was not just something he did out of a sense of obligation or because he had to earn money. For this man, the work was about something bigger than himself alone, something that would bring beauty to the world for many generations to come. That kind of vision can be a nurturing and sustaining element in our lives and in the life of our congregation, in the life of our communities. As we move into the next episode of our voyage together, I hope and pray that we will develop and articulate a vision that will serve as a touch point, a way of living into our dreams and aspirations for our community and for our world. May it be so. Amen.
Please rise again to join in singing Blue Boat Home. Is that the boat you were envisioning? Here we go. Sun by sailor, moon by rudder, as I ride the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred
Our Share the Plate beneficiary for the month of March is Lebo Pride, whose mission is to advance visibility, education, celebration, and inclusion of queer, gender diverse, and other marginalized groups. Our goal is to raise at least $2,000 in the month of March to support our congregation's sponsorship of the annual Lebo Pride event on June 14th. You can make a gift online on our website or by text at 412-324-3130. We'll be passing our offering baskets for cash and checks in just a moment. If you're writing a check, please make it out to UUCSH and put Share the Plate in the memo line. Thank you so much for your generosity.
I'm going to have you roll those one more time, actually. So Irish blessings predate Christianity in Ireland. They have, pagan, folk, and Druid backgrounds and often contain themes of nature. So while this most well-known Irish blessing definitely talks about God and gendered language, his hands, I want you to receive this in its entirety, in a greater understanding of the universe holding you in its hands.
Please join me in saying the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
After these closing words, we're going to take a short break to try to make some changes in this room before our meeting with our architects. So it'll take about 15 minutes, which means we'll probably actually start around 11:25. So try to be back into this room by 11:25. We'll begin at that time. In the meantime, feel free to get some coffee. There's also an environmental justice table set up in the fellowship hall where you can learn how to write letters to your county representatives to vote yes to increase permit fees for industrial polluters to help fund air monitoring in this area. But for now, we will close with these words. And now may we go forth in the certainty of faith, in the knowledge of love, and in the vision of hope. And in our going, may we be blessed with all good things on this day and forevermore. Go in peace, but don't go too far.